Hey guys, what's up? It's Cody Brockway here, back with another episode of Brockway's Vinyl Bites. Woohoo! And of course, we got Mr. Kermit the Frog, who is still here straddling my EVH Wolfgang Special guitar, the Music Man Edition. If he doesn't stop straddling that guitar, I'm going to start calling him Izzy Stradlin. Anyway, so we're gonna get more of an introspective / reflective vibe on a lot of the music that and CDs actually that my parents owned growing up that I of course now own, but a lot of the stuff that really influenced me as a young kid, that would, of course my tastes would later progress and evolve later in life, but and of course this wasn't all the music that I listened to with my parents. But this is a lot of the CDs that I remember them having with them and playing and listening to together. I'm going to start off arguably where it all started for me as a musician. I'm going to have to say that was probably here with Led Zeppelin 2. So when I was a kid, I think I've told this story on this channel before, but when I was a kid I had a Sesame Street bus. With the bird and all that. But at the very back of it was a cassette deck with this little bus on wheels that you could roll around on the ground, and in the back of it was a cassette deck with speakers, and my dad gave me a copy of Led Zeppelin 2 on tape, burned from his CD, right? And I listened to that tape. I burned that freaking thing out. I'm not even kidding you. I burned the first two songs, Whole Lotta Love, What Is and What Should Never Be, burned them right out. He had to re-burn me the tape, and then eventually I'd get a CD player. We could listen to his CDs together, etc., etc. So this is one of the CDs he used to own. This is, of course, a remaster that I own separately, but this is definitely one of my earliest memories of music. As is this. The Ladder came out probably 6 or 8 months after I was born. This came out in '99, produced by Bruce Fairbairn, who had actually passed away during the production of this. So, R.I.P. Bruce Fairbairn. He's actually Canadian too, but my dad is one of the biggest Yes fans I ever met, and probably the biggest one that I know well. And he played this all the time. There's videos of me as a young infant child singing along to all the worlds of all the worlds. Oh my gosh, singing along to all the lyrics of Homeworld, the first track on this album, on my parents' couch when I was probably 2 years old. Singing every word. He played it all the time, and I loved it so much. This is the exact CD copy that he had. There's even a sticker that I pasted on it when I was a kid. This is his exact CD copy that he gave to me more recently in my life, and of course, I'm forever grateful to both of my parents for playing me all this amazing music, but there's more to come. So he also played this one a lot, of course. Yes, Close to the Edge. It's the one that's on my shirt. I knew probably every word to the title track when I was under 10 years old. That's crazy to think about, but yeah, anyway, Yes, Close to the Edge, another massively influential album for me. Arguably my favorite album of all time. Both of my parents used to play this a lot. Was Beatles' Abbey Road. Of course, kind of goes without saying, right? But I think this is arguably the greatest album of all time, if you were to ask me. Sorry, we had a slight bout of technical difficulty there, but I fixed her all up and we're good to rock and roll. Continuing on with the Beatles, my dad had this double blue CD collection, and I just played this all the time as a kid growing up, hanging out with him, and we listened to this all the time. I listened look at all the great tunes on that. If you're watching this channel, you probably know this album pretty well, but this is all the songs from 67 to 70. Of course, it's not every song, but hey, this was certainly a great starting point for a young music listener like me. Another one that I used to listen to a lot with both my mom and dad, because I loved this so much, and my mom would eventually take me out and hook me up with the CD, but we would all listen to this together. Paul McCartney, Back in the U.S. Live, 2002. This has got a healthy dose of his solo songs, his Wings songs, his Beatles songs. So I used to listen to this all the time in my mom's car, hanging out with my mom and hanging out with my dad. Just great memories of growing up listening to this classic music. Great performances on this, by the way. Great live album. Another one my dad used to play all the time. Van Halen, the Fuck album. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, he played the song Right Now over and over and over again. Every so often we listen to some other cuts on this album too, like Pound Cake, In and Out, etc., but Right Now was his favorite track, and it still is to this day, but I love the whole album. So does he, but great album, great song. Now here's an artist that you're going to see I kind of have a like a mainly like a mom pile, like albums that we used to listen to, separated from my dad's pile. But this is an artist that you will definitely see in both. They're both big fans of, well, all of this music, but you'll see what I'm talking about if you keep watching the video. So my dad used to play this album a lot. Tumbleweed Connection, Elton John. And my mom would play this one a lot, Elton John's Greatest Hits. So you got the best of both worlds, right? Both great albums. My dad would also slide in some jazz fusion stuff too. He had a Uzeb CD that he would play all the time. It's not this CD. I don't actually have the CD, but I had to talk about it because I used to love this song called Junk Funk, and it's very funk jazz oriented, and that's what some of the stuff he was playing for me as a kid. You know, it was great. My dad would get me into tons of metal bands, and over the years, and so when I was probably 6 or 7, I was listening to Korn and System of a Down, both big time bands. And still for me, even to this day, but when I was 6 years old, those were like some of my favorite bands. But another one he used to play a lot was Tool. Lateralis had just come out, and we listened to Ticks and Leeches and Schism all the time. Of course, when I would grow older, they'd put out 10,000 Days and Fear Inoculum and stuff, and I would become a pretty big fan much more later on. But I was also a young Tool fan too, and he was playing all this album for me when I was much younger. Pretty cool. I had great parents, Tool, Lateralis. This is his exact CD copy too, with the Lateralis spelled wrong on the back, if you can see that. Instead of it being Lateralus the way it's supposed to be, it is actually spelled Lateralalis. So, yeah, pretty cool. We're actually going to see Tool for the second time. Me and my dad and a couple of friends are going to see them again in 1 week from now. Now, another CD that both my mom and dad used to play for me pretty relentlessly all the time was this one. Aerosmith, Big Ones. Say what you want. This is a great album. This was monumental to me growing up. I love every track on it. Every single fucking song. Love it. This is kind of a collection of 3 albums. So this is the hit singles off of Permanent Vacation, Pump, and Get a Grip, and a couple of new tracks mixed within. But I think this is great. My dad's favorite song is Living on the Edge, and my mom's favorite song, I think they both actually love probably this whole CD. Yeah, great. All right. You could say I probably listened to this one with my mom and dad both, but my mom played this one a lot growing up, like a lot. That's Queen's Greatest Hits. Queen are one of my all-time favorite bands, and same with her and same with my dad. They both have amazing music taste, but in my mom's car growing up, we played this one all the time. Great collection of songs. This is probably my mom's favorite album of all time, and it's one of mine too, much thanks to her. Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. She had this going all the time. She loves that song, Oh Daddy. She loves the whole album, I know, but she had this CD when I was growing up, and she just, she loved it. I fell in love with it. The rest is history. Great album. Definitely, so there's a couple of CDs. There's 2 CDs here at least that take me right to being in the back seat of my mom's van that we used to have back in the early 2000s. Train, Drops of Jupiter. Her and I used to play this album all the time in that car, driving around together. Just me and her. It was great. And this is a great album. She's on Fire, I Wish You Would, Drops of Jupiter. Everybody knows that song, but there's lots of great deep cuts. It's About You, Something More, Respect. This is a really good album. And same with this one. Mind the 50-cent sticker I got on this, but Avril Lavigne, Let Go. I probably owned like 8 copies of this CD at one point growing up as a kid. She got this for me when I was a very young kid, and young kids can't really take care of stuff. It was kind of the same deal with this, so I rebought them many times over the years, but this is just ingrained in my DNA. All these albums are really just ingrained in my DNA at this point, and just great memories. I know every word pretty much to every song on this album still listen to it. I still love Avril Lavigne, Canadian gem. Future Cody here. Here's a band that I absolutely could not leave off this list. My mom and I used to listen to them all the time when I was growing up. She actually took me to see them in March of 2004. It's my first concert ever. I was 5 years old, Cops Coliseum, Hamilton. And of course, we're talking about a band that maybe you love them, maybe you hate them. I don't know. I don't care. I love them. We got Nickelback, Silver Side Up. This is one of my favorite rock albums of all time. The songs are great. The band plays great. Nickelback, Long Road. This is just some Canadian good hard rock, and great songs. Like they have a plethora of great tunes. I've always been a Nickelback fan. I've never been a hater of the band ever, and I've always liked them. And I love all sorts of music. I love everything from jazz to metal to pop to country to this. So you know what? It's like, I'm just I have such a history with Nickelback, and I grew up on them, and I grew up listening to their albums with my mom, and some of the best times of my life. I wouldn't change them for the world. So Nickelback, and we had a bunch of their other CDs too, but these are the ones that I pulled out. I probably went through 10 copies of each of these. Still love them to this day, still spin them all the time. So anyway, that's it for Future Cody. Enjoy the rest of the video. She also used to play Alanis Morissette a lot too, but I didn't get to pull that CD out. But Jagged Little Pill, of course, right? Great stuff. And then so my mom and dad would separate, and my mom would remarry with a man that's been in my life for over 20 years now. He's actually great friends with my dad. Him and my dad are like best friends. They love each other. They both love my mom. I love my mom, and I love both of those guys too. So my dad is Chris, and my mom's husband is Al. He's been in my life for a long time. And my mom is Terry. My mom's Terry, if that matters. But he's not really the rocker type, so he used to play a lot of country music. So I got into stuff like Keith Urban and whatnot from him. Garth Brooks, I love Garth Brooks, thanks to him. But two of the CDs that he had in his shelf really resonated with me and still do to this very day. You could argue that these were also monumental in setting me on the path of being a metal guy, because even before Korn and all that, I had found these albums. AC/DC, Stiff Upper Lip, and Back in Black. A young kid hearing these albums for the first time. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, the impact that it still had on me to this day. This whole collection of CDs. I should have thrown in some Shania Twain too, because my mom and Al used to listen to that all the time as well. I still love Shania Twain to this day. And of course, the connection between Shania and AC/DC was her husband, Mutt Lange, right? But just all these albums. And there was so much more. Like, my parents listened to all sorts of music, but these were just a select few of the CDs that I remember us owning and driving around and listening to. Of course, there's plenty more that I could have pulled out, but who's got the time, Like, we listened to so much music when I was growing up. Some Pink Floyd. Both my parents were into that. Also, my mom liked Carole King a lot, and my dad liked James Taylor. But, it's all good stuff, and it was all massively influential on me, and still is to this day. And I've taken what I loved the most out of those, and just totally built my own taste off of it. So I mean, there you go. It's and I bet a lot of you people might even feel the same way about many of these albums that I've listed here, or you might have significant memories with your parents that you think back on when you hear certain songs or albums. And if you do, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your memories with, growing up, good memories, playing good music, your parents showing you great music that you still love, music that's impacted you for whatever reason, We all have it, right? So definitely tell me in the comments some of your memories with either some of these albums or some albums of your choice, of course, right? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that you guys will like my videos enough to tell your friends and subscribe to me because I'm posting cool stuff all the time. So, stuff that I think is cool, and I hope you think it's cool too. Well, I'll see you next time on Brockway's Vinyl Bites, my friends. Thank you very much for my trip, for joining me on my trip on memory lane, and we'll see you sometime in the very, very, very near future. Okay. Rock on! Yeah.